Hey guys, welcome back to another flight review. This morning we're flying British Airways flight 652, service from London Heathrow Airport all the way out to Santorini, Greece in the Club Europe cabin. The aircraft operating this flight is an Airbus A320-200. It was built back in May 2013, making it 5 years old at the time of flight. And once again, we're in the Club Europe cabin, sitting in seats 5A and C. If you're interested, the aircraft's registration number is down in the description along with all the other flight details.
How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing good.
Good, welcome on board to you. The tripods, haven't you, that twists and you can do all sorts of angles. Good lady laughing at me behind.
Yep. Probably laughing at me.
British Airways has configured the Club Europe cabin to a 3-3 layout with a seat pitch of 30 inches and a width of 17, making it the same exact dimensions of the Euro Traveler section, aka economy. The only differences between the Club Europe cabin and the Euro Traveler cabin is the middle seat in the Club Europe cabin is blocked off, and there's a nice tray table, and there is a white little cloth on each of the Club Europe seats. Other than that, it's the same. In-flight entertainment on this flight is very slim to none. As you can tell, there's no seatback TVs, there was no Wi-Fi, no streaming content. Only thing you had was if you brought your own content, or you can look at their Mile High magazine. So not too good on those options. It's time for the plane to push back and take off, so enjoy all the sights and sounds coming from London Heathrow.
There's also a charming whistle and intelligent.
Any price good was it?
Yes, babes. Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, yeah?
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gillian.
Or flying start envelope.
Please, ask one of your gorgeous cabin crew members.
Have an enjoyable flight.
We are underway. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all aboard to this flight to Santorini.
The legroom on this plane was pretty decent. The cabin interior though was pretty dingy. Shortly after the plane took off, the flight attendants came around and offered these nice warm hot towels, and they also passed out the meal service menus. One of my favorite things about flying across Europe during the daytime is looking out the window and seeing sprawling cities, and then the next minute seeing beautiful countryside. And I don't know if it's just me, but every time I look out the window, I swear I see another plane crossing below us or above us. I don't see this too often in the States. A few minutes after the meal cards had been passed out, the flight attendants came around and took our drink orders. I ordered a champagne and my wife ordered a Diet Coke, and they came with these dry roasted almonds in this bag. American Airlines has me spoiled. When they serve their nuts, it's in a nice warm ramekin. So I was quite surprised to see British Airways just handed it out in a bag. Kind of made me feel like I was in economy. The meal service started off a little strange. They brought the starter and the desserts out on the same tray. The starter nonetheless was really good. It was a Ballhead style smoked salmon with horseradish cream. I generally don't eat fish, especially on airplanes, but this looked good, and once I sprayed the lemon on it, it was actually very tasty. I was quite surprised. Does anyone know this airport? If so, throw your guesses down in the comments below and see if you're right. For my main entree, I went with the herb grilled chicken supreme with thyme jus and the truffle linguine and root vegetables. This meal was really good. It doesn't look like much, but the chicken was nice and juicy and flavorful. The linguine was awesomely flavored too, and the vegetables were really nice. It also came with this nice little bread, and that went really well with the meal. As for the desserts, they were a coffee cream caramel with gingerbread crumble and a cheddar cheese with mango chutney and oat cakes. The coffee cream caramel was actually really good. I wish I could have had another one. But the cheddar cheese and mango chili chutney was a total fail. I did not like that one bit. The British Airways flight attendants were amazing. They kept checking up on us, and I couldn't let my drink get half empty. Anytime it got that low, they came and filled me right back up with more champagne. I really enjoyed the British Airways flight attendants. From the moment we stepped on the plane, the British Airways flight attendants were amazing. They were joking and all smiles and very chatty. We had plenty of conversations with them. I think they liked our American accents, and we loved their British accents. We talked to them about 2 to 3 hours during the flight. It was pretty fun. As always, after dinner, I had to get a coffee. I couldn't find the branding on what British Airways serves, but the coffee was pretty good. So here are my thoughts on this British Airways flight from London Heathrow to Santorini on an Airbus A320 in the Club Europe cabin. The Club Europe cabin is a disgrace. I'm not sure what BA was thinking when they put a 3-3 layout in their premium cabin, when that's the same exact layout they have in their economy class. I don't care if you block the middle seat and put a huge tray table in there. Your premium cabin should not be in a 3-3 layout. The Club Europe cabin needs to come up to date, and it needs to be in a 2-2 layout. This configuration is just not competitive. As someone who doesn't fly British Airways a whole lot, I was just shocked. British Airways needs to get with American Airlines and come to the American Airlines standard. Club Europe is essentially what we call in the United States domestic first class. And in domestic first class on American, it's always a 2-2 seat layout at worst. So BA needs to modernize it and get on board with American. This flight to Santorini wasn't a fast flight either. It was a 4-hour flight. So if this cabin was in a 2-2 layout, the extra seat width and the extra pitch would have made it way nicer. Now for the entertainment on board. That is also horrible. There was no seatback TV, there was no Wi-Fi, so therefore there was no streaming content. All you had was the magazine. And come to think of it, I didn't even see any charging ports, so you kind of just had what you had. So BA really needs to step this up as well too. It almost felt like I was flying on a low-cost carrier. Now let's talk about the British Airways flight attendants. On this flight, the flight attendants were amazing. As soon as we stepped on the flight, they were engaging, they had smiles on their faces, and they genuinely looked like they wanted to be there. Their meal service was prompt, they were really nice, and they kept filling up our drinks without us asking. My drink wouldn't get less than halfway full before a flight attendant was there asking if I would like a refresh on my drink. I really enjoyed that. They also asked if we wanted any more food, which was also nice, and they were just genuinely nice people. The flight attendant's genuine hospitality really did make the other things seem not like as much of a big deal. Granted, 3-3 does suck as a seat layout, but with them being so nice, it definitely took your mind off that. Now let's talk about the meal service on this British Airways flight. British Airways definitely needs to step up its drink service in the beginning of the flight. The glassware is pretty nice, albeit small, but the roasted almonds that come in a bag, that simply just can't happen on a premium cabin. British Airways needs to get themselves situated like American Airlines does. It makes a big difference when the nuts come out in a warm ramekin. It just looks way nicer in terms of presentation, and you want to feel like you're getting a little value for spending that little extra coin. Next, the meal service kind of needs to change too. The dessert should not come out with the starter. I don't care if it's you have to save time, but on this 4-hour flight, I really don't understand why on my starter with fish, I had 2 desserts. It doesn't make sense at all. The starter should come out, they should come and take that, then the meal should come out, and then after that, the dessert should come with any kind of coffee if you'd like. But to have it all just on one plate from the get-go is just a no-go in my book. Well, that wraps up this British Airways Club Europe flight review from London Heathrow to Santorini, Greece. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Feel free to leave some comments, good or bad. If you have any experiences on British Airways, let me know. If I did something wrong, put it in there. If you have any suggestions to make these better, go ahead and throw that in there too. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.